Well, I can put that away. I used it before. Huh? Oh. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Everyone doing well?
Yeah.
Good. It's a little quiet in here. Gotta change that. It's always on when I don't want it on. I don't know what I do. Armand, how do we open this window? There. What happened? Oh, turn it. There. Okay. We'll wait like 2 or 3 minutes and then we'll get started. Everyone doing well? Happy Tuesday. Cool. What's up, Hugh?
Fire away. What's going on?
Yeah, okay, we will wait. Yes, you're right. I'm glad we didn't have those before. I had no idea who she was. We got a lot out of Paul. Oh my God, thank you. Well, yeah, but I waited to go through a while. You were at the commercial? No.
Hey.
Good to see you. Good, good. We are? Wow. Hi, good, how are you? Let's see. I'm gonna get.
I really enjoyed my last foot.
Gosh, coming off work. Yeah. Why is it so cold in this office?
It's always either freezing or boiling. All right, we are going to get started. Happy Tuesday, happy Valentine's Day for everyone from yesterday. Before we sort of, as we kick this off, some of you are familiar, but Paul and I have launched a coaching program that we're doing together. It's a derivative, an enhanced version of our power session. So some of you are familiar with that I've been doing for years, and now adding, of course, the pole dimension into it, which is a big enhancement. And then we're going to get a little bit more purposeful on some of the metrics that we're doing. And eventually, our plan is to divide it between new agents and more highly producing agents. But for the time being, it's just going to be an all-inclusive group.
And also, yeah, also we're doing Monday, 10 a.m., Thursday, 10 a.m.
Yep.
So what we would normally be doing in the coaching program as 8 times a month, essentially the same format. We're taking 2 of the Thursdays and we're going to do wealth building with it. So the format is, and you can tell them the basic format.
It is basically a video about leadership and mindset, a collaborative conversation about it, how it impacts our lives and our businesses, and then a piece on metrics and tracking our numbers, and then some affirmations at the end.
And it creates a lot of, you start, it's really MREA book, business model for your real estate business. So you figure out what's the amount of GCI that you want to do at the end of the year, and then you can totally back into it. So what's your average price point? How many sales does it take to do that number of deals to get you to your GCI? Then you've got how many contacts does it take to do this? That's the bigger picture stuff. then how many contacts does it take to generate one deal for each particular person? And then you know how many contacts you need to make for the year in order to generate that GCI. So it's
reverse engineering how you make money. And we're going to really help everyone gain clarity for their individual journey on what that means for them.
and the people that have participated over time have done extremely well. It's just like anything else. When you have a goal, you set out that goal, you focus on that goal and create action over time, you tend to have a much better chance of hitting that goal. So very, very helpful. And in the same way that we've been doing that, we're going to do it with wealth building. It's the same exact thing. It's just what is your, and it doesn't matter where you start from. As soon as you start measuring it, it makes a difference. And then the power of the group. So it's a great way to start the morning off on Mondays.
And now Thursday. So tomorrow will be our last day doing Wednesday, and Mr. Robert Howell will be hosting that because I'll be on a plane heading to Florida. And then starting next week, we actually won't do it Mondays because it's President's Day. Yeah, thank you. But Thursdays. So starting next week, it will be Mondays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. and not Mondays at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 9. For those that have gotten the habit, I'm looking at certain people that are always at my power sessions. It will now, after tomorrow, will be Mondays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. And it will be reflected on kwbhvirtual.com, which is always the reference point for all of our training and with all the Zoom links. So
it's a way to bring together, the power of the offices. So instead of working as one individual office, and then I was helping another office with their coaching program, Josh does a great job. We were doing a great job with the other office, bringing it all together and just bringing the resources of all the offices together.
and Beverly Hills is showing how it's done. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it sounds like you're doing
Yeah.
individual wealth building too.
That's right. We're doing wealth building twice.
Out of 8.
Yeah, 2 out of the 8.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
same system, same metrics.
All right, our mom was supposed to, oh, here it is, my computer. Okay, Alex, we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you, Paul. You're welcome to stick around too, if you like. He charged. So I'm a big proponent of action, guys. At the end of the day, that's where everything comes from in terms of results and achievement, right? So always trying to inspire action, right? Leaders are people that do inspire action, right? And again, everyone's a leader if they choose to be based on the right decisions and their willingness to take action, right? I always say action is the antidote for uncertainty. We have fear because we have uncertainty. How do you dismiss that fear? You lean into it and make what was once uncertain no longer uncertain because you acted on it, right? So it's real simple when you really break it down. And it is what propels growth. Stepping out of that comfort zone, leaning into that uncertainty with action will help you propel your growth and your achievement, right? Leaders, as I always say, like create sparks, right? They help people see things that they otherwise couldn't have seen before. They help them see bigger possibilities, right? And again, I come back to everyone is a leader if they choose to be based on their decisions and their actions, right? Teaching people to think differently, right? That's what collaboration is all about, guys. We listen and learn and seek to understand, come from curiosity, and collectively we help each other see bigger, broader possibilities and to think differently. That's growth. Hopefully everyone leads by example. Whatever you aspire to be, you got to lead by example to create it, right? You can't say one thing and do another, right? That's hypocrisy. No one's going to believe you. There's no credibility in that. So really practicing what you preach and making sure your words are congruent with your actions. And when they're not, because no one's perfect, owning, taking responsibility for it, and then what are you going to do about it differently the next time? Any thoughts or comments? Come on. Nobody? Robert, you must have something.
Action with preparation, but not over preparation. So the classic stumble forward is very important. I'd rather someone join my team or someone join this office and you just get into motion, just get into lead generation, just do something where you're talking to someone versus thinking about how you're going to do it and letting your fears get in the way. It's really simple. The work is hard. The money is great if you just consistently do the work. And we all know what we need to do.
Well said. Yep. Any other thoughts or questions or comments? All right, next slide. Again, personal responsibility, right, guys? I mean, one of the bold laws, reasons or results, you can't have both. We all have tons of reasons. We have tons of excuses, many of them valid. No one wants to hear it. That's the reality. Like, make it happen, regardless of the circumstances, right? And that to me is what leadership, a big component of what leadership is all about, right? Creating a vision, right? And then creating a plan per what we just talked about, even with flow coaching, right? And I'll talk a little bit about the vision for this year, and then creating a plan and executing on that plan. That's leadership, right? People buy into that vision. They believe in that vision. There's credibility in that vision, and then they want to be part of that vision, right? Committed to creating value for others. Always like give with no expectation of anything in return, right? And it's amazing how much you'll get back when you live your life that way, right? And that's, again, a personal choice, right? By definition, leadership is taking the first step, not waiting for someone else to do that, right? So it's one thing I encourage my son to do all the time. Don't look around at your friends. Take the first step. You know what the right thing to do is. Do it. Don't wait for other people to do it. Take the lead, right? So if we all embrace that philosophy in life and are independent thinkers and do the right thing and come from contribution, it's amazing how far we'll go. Think bigger, expect more, act bold. It's a big philosophy of mine, right? I don't accept mediocrity. Create a higher standard and be willing to do what it takes to make it happen. And it's going to get uncomfortable, and no one said it was going to be easy. Any, yes, Sissy. The highlight of my year last year, she invited me to speak to middle schoolers where her kids are go to school, and it was the best. And I thought I was walking into a class of 20, and there was an auditorium of a couple hundred. You know,
Oh, wow.
The best thing I ever did. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for doing that. So I just wanted to add to what you're saying is also not to, all of this is scary and the unknown is scary, but just even if you don't know what you're learning, be open to learning new things, be open to listening and hearing from lots of different people and influences so that you can learn. And then aside from just you learning yourself, asking for help. You don't have to know everything. Just it's never too early to ask for help. It's never too late to ask for help.
Humility, right?
Yeah.
The best can always get better. Always be open-minded, always be willing to learn, right? And leaders also know when to follow, right? Because we're not going to be the best at everything, ever. So know when to follow. That's part of leadership. Love it. Lauren,
Personal.
yes.
And the great thing is, no matter if it doesn't work out, how far are you gonna fall? What's the worst thing that can happen? You're not gonna fall very far. And how quickly can you pick yourself back up and continue on again? I would say pretty quickly from where we are. So leading is putting yourself out there, but I don't think it's that big of a risk because the downside is really not that great.
And when you do fall, and you will fall, and it will be painful, get over it quickly and move on. We all are falling. The best of the best, you think of the best is out there and you're looking up to, they fall and they fall hard. But what's very good about them, they'll instantly get back up in short. That's the speed of how you get back up into action is going to reflect on your success.
Absolutely.
And they'll never make the same mistake.
Yeah. And if you're not falling frequently, then you're not taking enough action, right? That's the bottom line. If you're not falling frequently enough, you're not taking enough action.
I like the top one up here where it says you control your destiny through your decisions and actions. If the market's up 20%, if it's down 20%, we all have the ability to counter the market by more than 20%. So your client should be having a great market in a down market or up market, depending on your actions. And we get caught up in how's the economy doing? How's the economy doing? I don't know, but my clients are doing great. And that should help you get business too.
Yeah. Focus on what you can control. It's a big, there's going to be a lot of noise always in life. And when you just stay focused on what you can control, it's amazing how much further you'll go. All right, last slide here. this is one of my, like, I really believe this. Obviously, I spent a lot of time like internalizing this stuff, writing about it, reading about it. Leadership to me is the ultimate form of leverage. And there's so many layers to that. I think one day I'm going to try to write a book on that little tagline there. But leaders, again, they create buy-in, they create, there's a gravitational pull toward leaders, and it just makes life much bigger. Right. And that's what leverage is all about. Leverage gives you an exponential return on your effort, on your time, whatever that is. That's what leverage is designed to do, help you work smarter. And leadership is the foundation of that. There's no better investment than an investment in a person. Okay. So as you build teams, as you build organizations, there's no, in the right person, right? In the person that is willing, that is coachable, there's no better investment. So to me, when you invest in yourself as a leader, it's the best investment you can ever make. Create an environment of engagement, collaboration, innovation, transparency. Those are like core values here, which elevates everyone. When we all buy into that, it's amazing how much individually and collectively, how much further we'll go. There's plenty to go around for everyone. So don't come from scarcity, come from abundance. Believe me, you'll live a much bigger life, and there's plenty to go around. And again, it's not just hollow words. It's like, talent does attract talent. It's a law of attraction, and environment does matter, right? At the end of the day, yes, there's a high degree of personal responsibility, but if you put yourself in one environment and you put yourself elsewhere, it's amazing how different the results can be, even with you applying the same level of effort, because it will change your thinking, it will change your standards, and ultimately it will change your actions. Any last comments or thoughts before I move? All right, good stuff, guys. All right, Alex, we're up. So weekly closings. Let me turn this off so you can see this better. Great week. That's week, and we continue to raise the bar. I'll be on. We just recruited a top team from a major competitor that does well over $200 million of volume. So that's, I see, some of the people, we're getting all a little, I see some people getting a little uncomfortable, like, oh, there's new people in that. That's how we raise the bar. Like that's the beauty. Healthy competition is nothing but good for everyone, believe me. But I just want to commend everyone. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'll give everyone a quick chat and I'll post that. But that's this past week. All right, next one, Alex. So these are the top individual agents for January. Mark Robinson, Joseph, Deborah, Wendy, Azita, Diane, Jennifer, Javon, Will, Manaz. Great group. Awesome. And I'll tell you what's very inspiring is that it's not the same people all the time. And I'm very conscientious of that. We have such a dynamic office with people, so many people doing deals. Like it was never like that even 2-3 years ago. And it's really inspiring to see how many people are really engaged in actually closing transactions. All right, on the team front, Mr. Robert Howe and his team, Missy and her team, ME Properties, Melissa Z, amazing, Sean Cormandy and Sabina, and then Zach and Eshwin and Max with Blum Partners. Amazing, great job, guys. So that's top teams for the month. So let me give you a quick overview of the next slide, Alex. You're good. So this is where we, let me just make sure I'm processing this right. Okay.
That January?
Do we have, Alex, did we have, we didn't have the year. Okay. So I was going to try to put the year last year, but that's okay. So these are the new goals for this year. And we closed about, we took about 800 here. We finished the year, we did about 1,200 units. We ended up closing with about 1.85 billion last year. We did company dollar of about 4.3 million. We profit shared 753,000. So these are obviously enhanced goals. I think these are pretty conservative. I think even just with the team we just recruited, we're already at like 2-1 and change. And I've got several other people that I think will be coming that are major producers. And then of course I expect everyone here to grow. And there's a lot of people here that are also really strong producers that haven't yet closed business here. So I feel very good about these numbers, and that's some big numbers, and I think we can far eclipse them. So those are the goals for the year. This is where we ended January. 43 listings taken. We closed 72 deals in January. We did about 100, just over 100 million in close. Yeah, 100 million in closed volume. Company dollar, 315,000. Profit share just shy of $45,000. And you can see that relative to the January of the previous year, up in everything other than listings taken. We know how the listing business right now is few and far between, and that's why our special guest is going to talk about how to take listings. That's the key to it all right now. So, and sorry, this is cut off, but basically, if you take 1/12 of the year, which is about 8%, we're obviously tracking a little bit behind for 1 month into it, if that makes sense, guys. But January is almost always, a slower month. So, questions, thoughts? Again, I repeat, and I say this to put the pressure on all of us. Number one, Keller Williams office in California in profitability by far, and number 24 in the country out of 826. So number one out of 105, number 24 out of 826 in the country, and now we got to like raise the bar. So you're either growing or you're dying. I'm not interested in the latter. So, and I don't think any of you are either. So we got to just continue to drive, and there's no doubt in our ability to do. My goal in 2 years is to do over 3 billion in this office. I think, that's very realistic. So
Everyone do one more
Yep.
deal.
and Robert's been
We'll
saying that
cross
for
3
4
billion.
years. I love that.
We'll
Yep,
cross 3
yep. And he's right. Yep. Any questions?
So far you closed more in January this year than
Oh,
last
we did. Yeah, we did much better in January. Yep.
year.
So we're great momentum. So, yeah. All right, Alex, next. So want to commend Taylor, who is not here. She's probably, Taylor, you're online, I think, even though I can't see. Congratulations. How long in the business, Robert?
I think she's 7 months.
7 months on Robert's team, just a dynamo, and has captained like 7 months. So guys, that's an opportunity as I speak to some of the newer agents and even not newer agents that don't cap. The goal is to get everyone to cap. That's one of the beauties of our model is you have an opportunity to keep 100% of your commission by hitting the cap and then keeping 100% for the balance of your anniversary. So everyone has that capability. The resources are here. The people are here. The support is here. Then it's up to you to take purposeful, consistent action. Congratulations, Taylor. Are you there on Zoom? Anything you want to?
Thank you. I
Oh,
appreciate
there
it.
you
It's
go.
been
Awesome.
the best. Thank you.
Awesome. That's all you. So great work, and got some good leadership behind you. And Mr.
Thank
Howell.
you so much.
Yep. Love it. All right, next one. So we've got again, I'm going to have Kristen, who's been such an asset to this office. We have, I was just speaking to someone an hour ago. A lot of our competitors really they really promote exclusivity. Okay. We promote inclusivity. That's the bottom line. And I have no problem. That to me is like a sign of like insecurity, quite frankly, when you feel like you're better than other people. And we don't. And we invite, everyone was a new agent at some point. Everyone, right? So why would we not give people that opportunity and set them up to succeed? And Kristen's a huge piece of that with the mentor program. She takes tremendous pride in that. Not easy at all. With the different personalities and what have you, teaches such amazing classes with the contracts and disclosures, which is a fundamental part of our business model. And we have so many new agents that are doing great business. So again, thank you for that. Amazing. And then is Tanya here?
No, but thank
Okay.
you.
Hey Tanya, congratulations. I'm going to let Kristen speak, but you're amazing.
Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
Nina's not here. I don't really have much to say other than Tanya. You're always positive. You have a lot of poise and grace. You're lovely to be around. You're going to do really well. You've done really well. I'm proud of you. If you ever need anything, I'm here. I see good things for you.
You guys are great. Thank you.
Yes, May's going to say something.
I closed a couple of deals with her. She is graceful. She takes with problems. We solve so many together, and she always very respectful, very loving, very caring for her client. She's amazing. Love her.
Love it. Thank you, May.
May.
Awesome, Tanya.
Thank you,
Keep
guys.
up the great work.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave your certificate up at the front desk for you, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You got it. Awesome. And look, guys, we have a huge office and it's very, very much a team effort. I've got such a great team around me, which allows me to do what I do best, allows everyone to do what they do best respectfully. And that's the essence of a great team. We elevate one another and ultimately, hopefully create great value for our clients, who are you guys. So, all right, Alex. So Justin was going to be here in person, but I think he had a last minute appointment. Justin, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't be here in person, but I just wanted to say hello to everyone.
Justin is our productivity director. Most of you know Justin, a huge part of our culture, of our business model, all of that. So fire away.
Yeah, so anyone who's been on my Tuesday or Thursday sessions or who's worked with me individually kind of knows what I'm about. Total commitment, and I just want everyone to really succeed. And my application for everything I do is always about what can we discuss and put into action that you can implement into your business that day. I don't like to talk in theory. I like to just keep it very real and always discuss what's happening in the market at the moment. You know, what's happening when you're really face to face with your sellers and your buyers, and how to overcome those objections and how to have those tools to succeed, which leads me to this big excitement that I have of starting this coaching program. It's a 9-week mastery program for agents that have already done a few deals, that are already in motion, but they need a boost. They need a better pathway to get through that next wall, that next level of achievement on where they're trying to get to. So it's for the agents that are ready to think bigger than where they've been already in their career. And it's filled with a lot of what you all see on your screen. There's a lot of accountability. There's role playing, the toughest objections, which anyone who's been around me knows that's something I love to do because that's instrumental to closing deals. And it's a 9-week program. And the big question to kind of ask yourself is, if you could raise your income by, say, $250,000 in those 9 weeks, how much would that impact your life? And that's a question to kind of ask yourself. And people think that if they could do it alone, great. But if you're getting the same results that you've gotten the year before, then there's something missing. There's a missed opportunity somewhere. And that's what I'm here to help with. And that's where I'm here to support you. And it's gonna be a lot of fun too. We're gonna bring in a lot of great guest speakers. We're gonna get deep into it. That's why it's called a mastery program, because we're going to different levels than what a lot of you might have seen with other teachings. And there's going to be a lot of built-in accountability in a team atmosphere. So we're all going to kind of boost each other up, but you are going to leave those 9 weeks with a lot more deals that are hopefully closed, if not on your way to that, and have a great blueprint for the rest of your year. And that excites me completely. And I can't wait to start. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Justin, we can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if we were cut off on
I
Zoom.
don't think the office is able to hear.
Sorry, we can go ahead. Kristen's giving you a testimonial, Justin. Go ahead.
Okay.
I said that I coached with Justin Jacobson. I don't have the exact numbers, but my income about tripled. He helped me to build a team. I'm not big on rah-rah. He customized, coaching for me in a way that worked for me. And I truly saw the results. I wasn't sure how it would work out. And Josh had been pushing me to start a team for a long time. I was super uncomfortable. We did a lot of uncomfortable stuff. But now I'm comfortable and I'm making a lot more money. And Justin just continues to be one of the biggest helps to my growth as an agent and as a person, period.
Yeah, Justin's pretty amazing. Thank you, Kristen. That's definitely powerful. Yeah. Kristen did have a lot of friction and had always done things at a very high level, but Justin has definitely helped her propel that business. And again, you could have a great coach, but you got to be coachable. So I always come back to that. You got to be willing to step out of the comfort zone and take action, right? And embrace uncertainty. So awesome. Any other quick questions? We're going to try to move. Okay, and if you have any questions, reach out to Justin directly, but it's going to be an amazing program.
Yeah, appreciate all the kind words. And yeah, anyone who's already been doing some business, reach out to me and I can talk to you about the application process, because we're going to keep it a pretty limited group, just so everyone gets the real hands-on one-on-one attention that they deserve.
And this has been a work in progress for several months, so know that it's been very purposeful creating that. So awesome. Thank you, Justin, making it happen, buddy. Appreciate it. Next slide. So this will be number 2. Every other week we're doing new to the office. This is not just for new agents, it's new to this office, with basically a broad overview of Command, how you get paid, all the different things that Command does in terms of marketing, in terms of lead generation. And that's Armand and Amber, and I think Joshua teaching that class. So it will be this Friday as well at 10 a.m. So anyone is welcome. And I encourage everyone, if you have any questions and want to learn more, to plug into that. So.
I don't know if you're about to say it on your screens here. In a few days, family reunion, the convention starts. If anyone's on the bubble about going, you should definitely.
Put the next slide up. I think it's probably.
For new agents or experienced agents, there's lots of deep classes, there's lots of deep discussions, there's best practices, and it will raise you up to another level. The fact that you have a Beverly Hills badge walking around, you'll get a lot of referrals from that. That goes a long way. We definitely stand out as an office.
Yeah, it's not too late, guys. You can still go. It starts, this weekend. I'm actually heading out there tomorrow for a couple of days early to see my family who happen to be in Florida. But highly, highly encourage it. It's a game changer. Yeah.
Now I'm going. I just need to know who to get in touch with.
Yeah, Alex will coordinate that with you.
All right,
Yep.
thanks.
And we're going to do a dinner on Saturday night with everyone that's going. So it's not too late. And if in doubt, I would definitely tell you to go. And for any level, Vanessa. Orlando. Yep. And it starts like it's basically Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So, ideally get there Friday and, can leave Monday night, Tuesday morning. Okay, next one. And if you have any questions, just reach out to Alex, Amber, anyone. We have our awards. We don't have the specific date yet, but it will be the first half of March and hopefully the first week in March, but we're just trying to make sure we can get the awards quickly enough. We're really excited about that. It's going to be a big celebration. Top agents, top teams, many different categories. We have a lot of people to recognize and acknowledge. So stay tuned for more detail, but it will be within the next month. And then, as I said, family reunion this weekend. All right, so I've got a pretty amazing special guest. Many of you know him. He happens to be at one of the sister offices in Keller Williams, Santa Monica. I've known Richard quite frankly, since I started with this company 9 years ago. He's been my special guest at multiple offices that I've run, including this one when I came early on. Funny, witty, very smart, very purposeful, even though I don't want to tell him that. I wish he wasn't around to hear that. And a family man, like beautiful daughters, beautiful wife. He's the only guy, lucky him. And just a guy that's just always raising the bar, always asking questions, always willing to be open-minded and learn, and just thinks big and expects more, which is the definition of leadership. So come on out, man. You want to stand or sit? What?
I'll sit.
Okay.
Long day. That was
so,
quite an intro.
What? Yeah, you like that, man? Did I pass?
Well, it's a high bar you set. So,
I know. Come on. Hey, no
know.
bar, man. So
you
maybe
guys are going to
just
be disappointed.
maybe just start with just a quick. I know you've done this background. How long you've been in the business? Yep.
IALC on Tuesday, right?
Is it?
I was gonna ask Josh, is he gonna go?
Is it on Tuesday?
Well,
Like that.
I hear it's financial, so you don't really have to go. I'm hearing.
Okay, because I was thinking about that
from
last
AJ.
night.
AJ said.
The International Agent Leadership Council, we happen to all be on, so we're
AJ
always,
said you
yeah,
kind of don't have to go this year,
okay,
but so you blame AJ.
okay. So
Noted.
Richard, maybe a little background and then just your team, and then I'll get into more specifics on listings, because that's where I want the focus to be.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm Richard. Hello. I've been an agent for almost 18 years.
Wow,
It's a long time.
right.
I would not
Started at
recommend
10.
that. Yeah. It's too long. You should have an exit strategy, which I'm not joking about. So that's a different story. I've been at KW. I moved to KW in 2007. this will be the first family reunion I've missed since 2 Anaheims ago.
Why not go?
I don't know if I know
You can still
Orlando
go.
so far. You should go though. It's great. I've been to like 12, so it's fine. But I've been at KW, I don't know, 14 years or so now, 15 years. What else am I going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, so how, that, people on your team, just give
Oh.
us a little org chart.
Well, so I'm actually at Mega Camp in probably about 2008, 2009 Mega Camp. I really started hearing a lot about team, because team is not a native concept to real estate, even though team is really like, if you go to, Gary tells a story a lot about his allergist, that he's gone to the same physical office for like 30 years and 4 different doctors, and he keeps getting bought and sold. And, your doctor's office, I assume most of you have doctors of some kind, and lawyers, your accountants, all the same thing, right? There's a rainmaker that brings the business, and there's administrative staff that processes the business, and there's junior people that execute on the business, right? And that's no different than real estate team. So it's not like that amazing of an idea, but it was really KW initiated it. So when I started, I was at Prudential Encino, which was just behind Prudential Beverly Hills for the #2 office in their whole system. And there was a guy with 2 assistants and 1 buyer's agent. And people were like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like literally, if you had a part-time assistant, you were a big shot. And then starting about 2008 Mega Camp, they started talking about showing assistants. So I brought out the showing assistant model. I hired my first buyer's agent in 2009. And I'll share with you my team, but I think it's really important to understand, like, the size of the team doesn't matter. Are any of you guys going to family reunion? I heard you guys talking about it before.
Yeah, they're.
Just one. You're gonna get dinged by regional Josh.
I know. Actually, I get.
Stacey's gonna send you a
I know,
mean email.
I know.
You guys should go maybe next year. Hopefully it'll be in Vegas or somewhere not in Orlando. Or Dallas or
Right,
Phoenix
right,
or
yeah.
New Orleans. Really just Vegas or Anaheim would be great. You should go. It's actually, you learn quite a bit. Get away from your family for a minute, which is nice. But I think I'll tell you about my team. Just remember, when you hear people talk about the size of their team or the number of homes they sold, all that matters is how much money you make at the end of the day. I guess like some component of your own happiness too, but I'm only here talking about the money side. Like I know people like from, I used to be a maps coach. I had a guy who's now like one of the top guys at EXP, and he was doing $80 million a year in sales, and he was losing money doing $80 million. Like literally paying money out of his pocket to operate an $80 million sales business. So, so that's cool to sell 80 million. What's also better is not losing money on that. And I know teams that do 200-300 million that make less money than, a lot of the, we'll say mid-level agents, respectfully say some of the mid-level agents here are making more than people I know who run $200-300 million teams. So
Let me stop,
yeah.
Richard, for profit, guys, right? That's called being a business owner.
Matt, hit the table when you
Right.
say it.
And not just a salesperson. That's what honestly drew me to Keller Williams from day one. It's like how to run a business, which is all designed to generate profit. And that's why, again, we're the #1 office in California in profitability. I take a lot of pride in that. That's a team effort. That's being a business owner. There are many top agents that have no idea of their profit margins, none, okay? So that is what really distinguishes Keller Williams in many ways, in the training and the models and the systems that we offer. Then it's up to you to actually apply them.
Are all these people here?
Yeah, look at that, man.
Bottom line is, look, we did $225 million in sales last year, and that number disappears at regional awards ceremony in March if I get invited this year, which did not happen last year, Josh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't forget about that. But that number disappears, right? The number of, I did 175 million in sales 2 years ago. No one cares because that was 2 years ago. What does matter is the money I put in my pocket. So that being said, I'll tell you about my team. The goal is not to build a big team because a big team is just a different hat. Don't think that you're going to make more money with less effort because you still, instead of having 25 clients to babysit, I have 25 people on my team to babysit. And I've got to be in relationship with them and stay top of mind with them or if they go other places. So we've tried to stay as close to the KW model as possible. KW modified their org chart. I don't know if you guys remember from the MREA or there's an updated one that was floating around. We're somewhere technically like a 4th or 5th level team. I have a CEO. So I don't do any hiring or management of the staff, admit full-time staff. I don't hire or hold them accountable to results. We have 3 full-time staff plus the CEO in office. We have a runner. So let me probably write this down. I have to think about all these people. We've got a runner. We've got a virtual assistant in Minnesota or one of those states, maybe Wisconsin. I've never talked to her actually. We've got an assistant in Big Bear. Never talked to her. She's supervised by someone else. It's important.
Amanda.
Oh,
No, it's not Amanda.
Amanda's gotten a.
I thought about Amanda. She's great. She used to be here. She's
Yeah.
probably got her own assistant.
Well, she has her own assistant
Yeah.
in Big Bear.
Yeah.
You're close.
Yeah.
Very close. So we've got, that's the level of staff. We have our own full-time coach in the team. Something that's really, I learned from KW as a Prudential, we had 30 minutes of training. There's nothing bad about Prudential, right? We had 30 minutes of training a week, and my my manager at the time was basically like, bring me an escrow and I'll tell you how to close it. I'm like, I don't know how to get an escrow, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So we're really heavy on training. So I have a full-time coach that works, I write her W-2 paycheck. She works for me. Everyone gets private coaching, staff and agents. All my staff sell. A lot of my staff, like 3 of my 5 staff capped last year, I believe, full times. And we have 2 hours of set training a week and on-call support. So it's like very heavy on, the staff is there to leverage the agents so they can focus on their 20%. And then we have about, 15 or 17 agents plus the staff who are all licensed and so that's the team.
Can I ask you, I hate to
Yeah,
put you
why
on the
not?
spot, I guess I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Profit margin.
I don't know the percentage, and well, it's not to be evasive about it, because I also have my own production, so there's different methods of how you would account for that. But I would say probably like between 30 and 40%, depending on how you would account for it.
Awesome. So I want to focus on listings.
And that's like in line with what, that's like
Yeah,
in
the
line
MREA
with
bill.
expectation for MREA.
Yeah. So I want to focus on listings. Obviously, we're in this crazy market. I love your perspective on that because you're always very insightful on that. Obviously, with very low inventory, tell us how your team and what your thoughts are on how to, get listings. And how do you guys do it?
So I was confused. I thought I was gonna find out from you. I'll give you, maybe it's not the answer you wanted, Josh, but I think that so one of my junior agents asked me today, it's like 6 weeks in the business. It's like, how do I get listings? It's not like really like, I don't know the secret sauce for getting listings. I just wouldn't like approach. I think the important thing is to focus on is like, I wouldn't approach anything differently than anything else. Like if you go out there and meet people and make friends with them, build rapport and provide a solution for their real estate needs, you will probably get listings out of it. The majority, and I don't say it to be like, I don't know, like, it's not like, I'm not trying to go around your
Evasive.
question.
Yeah.
I think like people are like, I don't know, who has a geographic farm here? Anyone? Robert, kind of. I've seen your signs generally like over that way, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
There was one in Santa Monica.
That's too far.
You didn't come visit it.
Stay on your side of the 405. I think you just treat everyone the same. I think one perspective that I've tried to teach people, my team members, is every house will eventually be sold. And you just have to keep that in mind when you're staying front of mind with people. My first deal, my first escrow was also my 3rd deal, right? Like, okay, things happen. They got divorced, right? Like 3 months later, terrible. But that's unfortunately our business is, a lot of what we deal with is terrible. We're not really necessarily dealing with people at the best times all the time. So how do you get listings? I don't know, just go out there and prospect and meet people and build those relationships. Most of our listings today are coming from buy sells. So I want to buy a new house, I have to sell my old house. So if we're finding buyers, a lot of our buyers are trading up right now, more than we've seen in the past. So is that a good answer?
Yeah, no, I think, first of all, I think it comes back to relationships, but it comes back to being proactive. I think that's the key. And whatever that means for you, each one of you guys, on how you get in conversations, whether that's, at the grocery store, whether that's knocking on doors, literally, whether that's, calling for sale by owner or expireds, whatever that means for you, it's getting in dialogue with people. If you're very purposeful about social media, they all work. It's all about consistency and it's all about taking massive action, right? And then to Richard's point, following up, right? Nurturing those conversations, right? And then when you do close a deal with them, how are you staying in constant communication with them so they become a repeat and referral client? It's not, rocket science. We tend to overcomplicate it, to Richard's point, but it is about finding what works for you and then really being purposeful about it and doing it with consistency, right?
Yeah.
So to tell us to that point, though,
I
like
think the
tell,
overcomplicate is the key there. A lot of my agents are kind of, oh, how can I do more? Like, just do what you're doing, but better. Like, we don't need, they're like, oh, I want to do expired. Like, why? You have like a pipeline of business. Like, double down on your pipeline of business. Don't try to open up a new stand. Like,
find out what
somewhere.
works and exactly like
Yeah.
continue to do more of that.
Like,
you know?
I'm bad at open houses, because I don't like
Yeah.
people, as you know, and so I don't do open houses. Like, I
Yeah.
tried it for a year.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
You might like open houses. If you're
I
good
like
at it,
people.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
that is the problem. Yeah.
Right.
But if you're good at open houses, do open houses. If you're not good at open houses, that's okay. Just find something that you are good at.
So you're training
Yeah.
on the lead gen piece.
Yeah.
Give us some bullet points on what that looks like.
So like when I'm interviewing for the team for agents, I do interview agents for the team. I just tell people, I say, this is a telemarketing job. This is a phone prospecting business. And if you don't want to be telemarketing, phone prospecting, like, let's not, I used to be sort of like, oh, sure, Robert, whatever you want to do, we'll work with you. I know you only want to work Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll make it happen. We stopped doing that. So now it's like, listen, you're going to make phone calls until you hate making phone calls. And then you're going to make more phone calls. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. I'm very proud to say that people have quit the team. 3 different people in my lifetime have quit the team on their first day. I'm sure there's more. This is a hard business. This is a business where you're going to pick up the phone and make lots of calls. And you know what? It's not for everyone. It's not a personal judgment. Doesn't mean that you're good or bad. But if you don't want to pick up the phone and call people, it's probably not going to work.
And I gotta just say this, like I did that video like a year or 2 ago, pick up the phone, which is just far too rare. It's amazing how no one wants to pick up the phone anymore. It's like email, text. And to Richard's point, there are other ways to be very successful, but nevertheless, I built my business doing what I do now, picking up the phone relentlessly, calling every agent in my area when I started in Cerritos. Like literally, I did that for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 2 years. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm guys,
Can I
like,
ask a question to you?
Yeah.
How much time do you sending text messages with too many emojis?
he loves the emojis. Yeah. That's the brand, baby. That's the energy. So, but to Richard's point, you got to do, and Latrice said it for those who heard her speak, she was like, I listened to what everyone didn't want to do and I ran toward doing that. Right. And again, I'm using her as a highlight. She's been in the business like 2 years. She closed like 25 deals last year. She, and that's what success is all about. Are you willing to do what others aren't willing to do? And you'll begin to like it once you taste success, believe me. And then in time, you can delegate out of some of that. Like, honestly, I don't do that as much anymore, although I don't mind doing it. I actually enjoy it. I don't even have enough time to pick up the phone because I got so many appointments from picking up the phone for that many years that they just fall in my lap. But that's also because I stay purposeful and staying, as Richard said, top of mind through social media, through creating great testimonials from all of you guys in the office that are referring people. So, but you got to start by building the foundation and get into relationship and conversation. And honestly, the most effective way to do it is to pick up the phone. Let's just get real.
It's the only way to do it.
Yep.
I have a similar experience. I was showing, I did a broker tour today. I had to do my clients or friends of mine. But I brought 2 new agents with me to shadow, and I showed them, I got an email midway through. It's like, a client of mine I've talked to like vaguely over the last 5 years. Can you come sell our house for us? It's like, well, yeah, that's what happens when you did all the right things for the first 10, 12 years. Then people just email you, okay, that's a 2.5 sale and probably a 4 purchase. So.
But that's the point, building the foundation. It's like, play the long game, guys. Do the heavy lifting early and you will reap the benefits over the long term.
Or quit now.
Yeah. I mean, it's the truth. Like,
But you don't want to say that?
No, I think it's all about being real and transparent. So
Richard, you work with buyers or you give your buyers to other people?
I only work with like close friends. So
if it's a buyer, close friend, you have to work with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's no different than if you have a $3 million friend buying a house, are they going to work with you or they're going to work with your junior agent? Or, they know 25 other agents also. So you're lucky to even get the call on those things. So. Yeah, so I work with a few people at a time. I have 3 clients I'm working with now, which is good for me.
And you 225, did I get that right?
Yeah.
And about average price point of just
like
over.
1,000,001 or so.
Okay, so over 200 transactions, guys, and
Yeah.
you know, and over $1 million. That obviously doing things at a very high level. So tell us, and then I'm going to open up to questions. Where online lead gen? Do you do some of that? Tell us a little bit more about that for the team.
You know, now it's a lot of repeat referral. You know, I've done this a long time, so we've done, I don't know, 1,500 transactions lifetime or something like that. Maybe more, maybe 700. We have a lot of past clients, so I've given away a lot of my past clients, have them, you know, like the allergist story. So I have my junior agents working those, but you know, on the drive over here, I got a call, I think, I don't know, from some ad we have online somewhere. I don't even know. But I got a voicemail, we want to sell our house. Okay, so one of the agents takes that and runs with it. We'll sell that person the house, then we'll get a referral. You know, then we'll get a repeat. You know, maybe that person will buy and sell a few houses. So I think it's good to not be too heavy in any one thing because those things change. So, you know, we were really trying to push open houses pre-COVID, and then, you know, we really haven't done open houses in 2 years. We've had them sporadically, and, you know, we found that even back, I don't know if you guys have had the same experience, we found that our open house pickup rates are very low, that I think people got conditioned to hiring a broker, you know, versus like, because they want someone doing the things for them versus wandering out in the world. So will that change or not? I don't know. On the one hand, it's good for us because it's helped our buyer business, but then it hurts us because it hurts our ability to acquire new people there. And then I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but we have a Zillow Flex account, which is pretty sick. So happy with that.
And what, can I ask you, what percentage of the business comes, I know that's probably a moving target, comes from like the online lead gen being like Zillow, and what comes from like repeat referral?
By
sphere?
dollar volume, it's probably about a quarter Zillow and then about 3/4 repeat referral. Or yeah, I mean, everything's sort of like we call sphere. So it's like, once I sell you a house, you're my sphere, whether or not like we're
Yeah.
went to high school together or I met you at an open house or whatever.
Yeah.
So everyone's in the sphere. We treat everyone as sphere of influence. We don't do any farming or anything like that. We don't spend any money on marketing. So we just call people. Yeah. Wild.
Wow.
You know, what's funny is you increase your profit margin if you do that. True story.
Tell us about your database and how, like your management system, like how are you staying just, top of mind? Because that's obviously a key piece to this whole thing.
You know, I used to go to my agents and I'd say, okay, I want you to get like 1,200 people in your database because I know that if you do, you know, 160 calls an hour on a triple line dialer, we had all the math worked out. We actually had the math worked out that if you were actually prospecting 3 hours a day, you could maintain a 3,000 person database. And we found out people burned out like crazy trying to do that. So now our target is we tell our agents to, starting from 0, build up to about 600 to 1,000 people in your database, depending on how prospecting heavy you are, and then shrink down from there to between 200 and 600. So I have 100 people in my database. I did $50 million in sales myself last year. I get all that out of 100 people. But you know, it's about, there's a woman in the first MRA book.
That's 1/4. Because probably I'm guessing 2 million average price point amongst that.
Yeah.
So you 25 deals out of 100 people.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's really high. That's
Yeah.
the point. It's not about having it. It's about having the right 100 people.
Right.
Not. I mean, and some of it's like, well, you're in the database, but you referred me someone. Well, that's still in there, and maybe I'll drop someone else out because I don't want to maintain more than that. But now I want my agents to work towards, after 4, 5, 6 years, getting down to 200, 300, 400 people in the database.
And what system are you using there?
We use Commissions 8, which I hate. Are you recording this?
No. Yeah, we are actually. We are.
I really hate it.
So why are you using it? Because it's effective, or?
We're stuck. I mean, we're stuck.
Okay.
You know,
It's
I have
crazy.
70,000 records. I can't just pick it up and move it.
Is there something you would recommend for those that aren't stuck?
If you're a solo agent, I haven't used Command. I've not heard any complaints about Command for a solo agent. Command has like no functionality for teams right now. So I would rather just be in Command if I were a solo. And then if you became a team, then you might want to migrate to something else. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have an answer for that, but I mean, Commission Sync is fine. It's just, we were originally sold a bill of goods. It doesn't exist. It's a very expensive fine.
Yeah.
So
I want to open this up because I know there's a lot of questions. So, Ally, sorry, Roxanne. Ally.
We're so together. I have a question about your social media. What are you doing?
I just post on social media what's on my mind. I don't have like a brand strategy for social media.
That's good news for me.
What's that?
That's good news for me.
But he does. So
I just
I'm
connect with my
gonna
neighborhood.
argue against that. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just don't friend request. I'm not gonna add any on Facebook.
Yeah.
I actually try to remove one person a day from my Facebook. I just post a lot about what I'm doing in real estate, but I try to find funny things. I
Yeah.
try to involve my kids.
Yeah, he's very.
Okay.
But I don't want, I mean, like, all of you guys who, I know you, some of you are doing it, I'm trying to figure out who posts their open house flyer on their Facebook page and gets one like. Someone does it, just admit it. I know someone's doing it.
Yeah, there are plenty.
And then you do it the next week and you get one like, and the one like's like, from Josh, right?
That's probably true.
And then you post like,
Yeah.
some dumb real estate meme, and the only people who like it are your real estate friends. And then you post like, panic, buy a house now, which no one likes. It's only, if you're posting something on Facebook or something, it should like be engaging to your non-real estate friends. Because you know what? You're never gonna buy a house from me, right? So I don't have to impress you. I don't have to get your engagement.
So Richard is very authentic. I think that and funny. That's him. That's his authentic. I think that's the general rule. I would say be authentic, create, and don't try to like sell something, but show people who you really are, right? And Richard, again, very much into his family, is very witty. That's who he is, and people respect and are drawn to that. So be your authentic self. There's no broad rules. There's and be consistent. Because you do post pretty consistently. I don't know if that's, I mean,
I just,
He just doesn't
yeah.
know it.
I just when
Yeah.
I mean like a few times a week.
Yeah.
I have friends who post like way more often than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Who else?
Facebook? You on Facebook?
Yeah. But don't add me.
No,
Nothing personal.
You don't feel like Facebook's
He's
getting old?
not friendly, so.
What's that?
You don't feel like Facebook's getting old?
I don't know. Like I was talking to an agent on my team, and she's like, also similar age, and she's like, "Oh, did you see my Instagram post?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna like do another thing."
You're not on Instagram, are you?
I am, but someone else does it.
Okay.
I don't,
Okay.
That's Instagram is more like marketing focused. Then of course, like we get no traction from it. We repost our actual paid ads.
Yeah.
We get very little traction from that stuff.
And I'll give you I do think that there's definitely different audiences, although there's clearly overlap. I do think that, there's definitely more skews older with Facebook, but still
Are
very,
you on
rel-
Instagram?
I just started.
Michael, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, still very
You're
relevant.
on Instagram?
I just got on there.
You're too old for Instagram. Young kids get it.
Right. I think my advice would be both. Yep.
Are you on TikTok also? I don't even really know what it is.
A lot of people on TikTok now.
John,
Richard, how do you use your virtual assistant in promoting your business?
How do I make sure?
You get from your virtual assistant. What does he do for you?
Oh, I haven't yet. I don't really manage the two virtuals, so I don't really know exactly, but I know the woman in Wisconsin does like a bunch of reporting. So I got like reports from her on Monday mornings, and she does some back end stuff. Like we have we're getting like 100 leads inbound a week or so on average. So like someone has to we really heavily track those as best we can. Just because we're trying to catch, we can catch deals or, hey, that lead wasn't touched or who's following up there. So a lot of that really monotonous stuff that you're not, everyone we hire that's from LA, obviously starting salaries are really high right now. They want to be in real estate. They want to be, like $1 million listing style. They don't want to be doing like reporting on data. So we have to go.
is that Zillow focused?
Yeah, we use Zillow. We have to,
Right.
any vendor that sends us leads or any referral, if we get a referral from an outside, or if we send or receive a referral, we heavily track those. We just want to make sure no one forgets to pay a referral fee. We want to make sure because I know that if we get a lead, we're going to follow up with that lead on a predictable schedule for a while. But if I send a referral to Austin, I want to make sure that someone's going to follow up with that lead. Check in 6 months. Hey, what's happening with this lead? Oh, you dropped the ball. We're going to re-refer it. So a lot of that stuff is real monotonous and boring, but it's important for our size of business.
And they're tracking to make sure that you're keeping up too, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be a flex,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think, I've struggled with virtuals for like anything higher level, like we've tried, other countries, we've tried local virtuals. I've not really been happy with success of like, for like higher level tasks. Anything that requires like local touch or expertise or knowledge, it's like, you cannot teach someone what a high-end buyer.
And
or
I
something.
tend to agree with Richard. He has more experience than me, but I think particularly in more sophisticated markets where there is more client interaction, a higher standard, the virtual piece for anything that's interactive, that communication is necessary, I think is very challenging. Heidi.
So with that 100, your database, that's like the 100 great people or so. that you
Yeah.
mentioned.
The 100 right people.
The 100 right people.
Yeah.
With that sort of special group, what is your outreach look like?
It's changed a lot. Obviously it's been a weird couple of years. For me, it's been a weird 41 years, but for everyone else, it's been a weird 2 years or so. I'm just very high on what I call social engagement dates. I don't know if I made that up or stole it from someone, but I'm just trying to like meet them for coffee, meet them for lunch. I mean, these are like, also relatively like my closer friends. So, like we're doing stuff with the kids or the families, or, I coach 2 soccer teams. I host gymnastics at my house for like 20 kids on Mondays. I mean, I don't pay for it, they pay for it, but I got 20 kids coming to my house every Monday. So I work with a lot of those people. So it's just trying to be like, it's not really work in the sense I'm just socially engaged with them, but I have everyone in my database. So I know like, oh, you know what? Like I'm seeing Josh a lot. Kids are playing every week, but when soccer season's over, maybe that fizzles and it's like, oh, I haven't seen Josh, since soccer ended 4 months ago. So I gotta call Josh.
So he's making sure he's top of mind with those people. And
So do those touches just look like calling and saying hello, and then and that's it? No real estate?
Oh yeah, no real estate. No, I don't. I actually like people like, oh, this is Richard. He's a really good realtor. I'm like, oh, like in a social thing, like, could we not talk about real estate right now? Like they get like a breather. No, people will come to you.
It's just top of mind.
Yeah, when people want to talk about real estate, I've found that they'll talk about real estate. And if people don't want to, it's not like a challenge to get people to start talking about real estate. So
I gotta say this though, everything's about context. And that's in the context of Richard being in the business 18 years and doing things at a very high level for many, many years. So he has the luxury of being able to do that, where most of you do not. So,
Well, I mean, look, you could do something like, so I posted on my Facebook, like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago, I said, my neighbor's house is for sale. I have access to it off market. Who's interested? Okay. Well, I got like 6 inquiries, which means now I can call those 6 people about real estate and have a real estate conversation. I knew already, like, probably, I don't know, like 4 of the 6 I already was in conversation with about their home search. And I ended up selling the house actually to someone who I was not in conversation with about real estate. So you can do that. If I know that you're an investor, right? I have friends who have money. I have friends who are in financial investments. I mean, not recently, but I used to sell a lot of rental properties or investment-focused real estate. So I can call you and say, hey, Josh, I know that you're big into Bitcoin, but what if I can show you an apartment building with, 5% return upside? Would you be interested? I wouldn't feel shy about making that call once in a while to someone or bringing it up socially, but generally I was like 90% not focused on real estate because, it's like what Gary says, it's like people hire people they like and trust. Everyone knows you're in real estate. Everyone knows,
or do they? Or do they?
Well, they should know.
That's
They
the
should
point.
know, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, that's a good point.
Yes.
They should know you're in real estate. They, and so look, sometimes like, my friend's wife's, best friend is a realtor and it's not gonna happen. Okay, cool. It's fine. So I'm not gonna like put them in an awkward scenario because sometimes that person screws up and you get a second chance at it. Actually, a good amount of the time.
Yeah. Kevin.
What was your budget last year?
Oh, we'd pay a referral fee to Zillow, so.
Flex is a
0.
referral fee. So you don't pay for it. It's
35.
And there's select people that have a track record of
They
converting, being
yeah.
Richard, that are flex, flex, clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't call- don't call them. What's
No,
that?
they don't
Charge
charge
by
him.
month?
Those
It's
referral
purely
fee.
referral
Really?
fee. When he
Oh,
closes, yep, that's what affects,
Mm.
it goes to, again, select agents that have a major track record of converting. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyone on Zoom have questions? Nobody? Anyone else here? Yes. Vanessa.
What's your best piece of advice as a new agent starting out and like generating?
Are you the person in question? or
Yeah.
Just asking. for Okay.
Asking for a friend. I love it.
May I ask where you're from? Okay, you went to high school here? Okay, it still almost counts. Where'd you go to college? You went to college here? Or, okay, so that's also almost here. It's really far though. Yeah, no, I've driven by. It's a really nice lawn. I really love the lawn there.
He mows it.
I would. If they asked me to, I would definitely. I can imagine it being like really calming. Have you called everyone from your high school and talked to them?
No, I just signed yesterday.
So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
How many people went to your high school?
Chicago?
No, how many people went to your high school?
Oh,
This is a real life coaching session. We're gonna do
couple
it.
hundred
Okay, say 200,
more.
300.
4, 5, yeah.
Okay, say 400. How many people do you think you knew at Pepperdine?
Maybe like 100 or less.
Okay, so that's 500 people. So why couldn't you go to 2 coffee dates a day for the rest of the year?
And you're saying don't bring up real estate, right?
No, because when you go talk,
Mhm.
they all bring it up anyways.
Mhm.
I mean, they're, it's like people.
They're gonna
want-
ask you what you do,
Yeah,
right?
people want to talk
You
about,
know?
people want to talk about real estate.
Right.
They don't want to talk about their job.
Once they know what you do, they're gonna ask you, what do you do, right? If they don't know already, right?
So going back to the whole social engagement aspect.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Mhm.
I went to high school here. A lot of my friends, I didn't go to college here, but a lot of my friends from college live in LA,
Mhm.
and I sell a lot of real estate. Most of my personal transactions are from high school or college. Or they're like, derivations of that. It's okay. It's a friend of someone I met through one of those 2 groups. And then now I have, kids. So now it's a lot of kids, friends, parents.
But all connected, the roots of it go back
What if they
to,
ask you, like, how many homes have you sold? You haven't sold
Oh, I sold like 700 homes.
any.
I don't think that they're gonna ask you that generally, but if they do, I tell a funny story.
Yeah.
I was like, when I was a new agent, my first year, I was showing this guy like $2 or $3 million homes in Woodland Hills in 2003.
Wow.
These were like crazy houses. And I'm driving them around and we go to write the offer and this comes up and I'm like, well, I'm new, but my partner, who's the manager, I call my partner, my partner Bill has been in real estate for like 30 years. And so like, I'm the guy driving you around, but when it's time for that stuff, Bill's gonna, and that was true. Bill was gonna jump in and I know you have a mentor program
oh,
here.
of course, yeah.
So you have a mentor, who's your mentor?
I don't have one.
Yeah, but you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be someone good or let's get her someone
Always
good?
someone good, yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna say, I'm newer, but my partner, whoever, has been in real estate for 20 years. And, that person's gonna jump in when it's time, don't lie to them about it. So this guy ends up sending me a certified letter never to contact him again. Because it was really because he wanted me to give him like half the commission back. And I said no, but he said it was because I was new and I misrepresented myself to him. I was 23, I looked like I was 15. I don't know what he thought, I was misrepresenting myself to him, but okay.
But I love what he said. I couldn't agree more. You gotta you have a team. Everyone here has a team. However you want to define that team is up to you.
And if I find generally with any objection, whether it's this or any objection you can possibly come up with, right? We're not gonna do like scripting objections, but like every objection is best handled by pre-handling it. If you sound like you know what you're talking about, you're educated on the marketplace, you're educated on the product, they're not gonna ask those questions, right? When you go show a house and you're like, I don't know what it costs to do flooring, I'll have to call someone to get back to you. Well, that's your job to know that, right? What are interest rates right now? I don't know, okay. What interest rates right now? Well, it depends on a bunch of things, anywhere from the high 2s to the mid 3s. Let me have my guy call you and they can walk you through scenarios. Okay, when you say that, they don't start thinking, are you doing real estate? They only ask you that when they are not satisfied that you know what you're doing.
Don't
I
give,
have to double down on what Richard
don't give
said.
them ammunition.
If
Go
you
ahead.
Smell new,
Yeah.
they're gonna know and they're gonna go deep questions.
Yeah.
If you walk in there like you know what you're doing, like Richard just said, they're never gonna ask you. I never had an adult ask me when I was green. It was the 12-year-old that came into the room and said, how many $1 million homes do you sell? And that week I had signed 3 contracts. I just said, I just signed 3 contracts, which was honest.
Yeah.
And then we moved forward.
And it's okay to say, I don't know, it's the way you say it. Like, you know, and the confidence you have, that's it. It's like, people sense the level of confidence that you have.
Like you were probably impressed with Josh. Josh would only been doing this for 4 weeks. And you were really impressed by him,
Yeah.
and so you signed up here. Lots of fun, maybe
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. Lauren,
Do you buy phone numbers?
Oh, hey, let's see there. How's it
Do you
going?
buy phone numbers for your team? And
No.
so where?
No, definitely not. No.
Why not?
You know, I'll tell you, so back at there's a lot of Prudential stuff came up today. So back when I was at Prudential, there was a guy there, there's a guy and a girl team, not married, and I don't know that's relevant, but anyways, there's a guy and girl team, and they would only do expireds and FSBOs, and the guy, I don't say his name, I think he's still around, but he had a big binder and it was so organized. It's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. It was like who to call in April, right? Everything was organized. And he would just go through it, and they were doing 15, 20 million a year, you know, it's 2003, 15, 20 million a year in business, just doing expired FSBOs. And I just remember the manager of the office called them like bottom feeders or like trash, like, what do you like a guy, like they're digging through the trash for business. So I don't know, that always stuck with me. That may be the wrong approach, but I just feel like, you know, for you have context here. Why go buy numbers or call random people when you can just call people that you actually sort of kind of maybe know? You know, the woman who emailed me today from high school, I didn't talk to her. I didn't talk to any girls in high school. I didn't talk to her in high school. I Facebook friended her after high school. And one day out of the blue, she messaged me and said, help me buy a house. This other guy who I'd done a bunch of business with and he sent me business. I didn't talk to him in high school. He's a year older than me. He's like a cool jock. And he just, now we're friends. Like, he just like, hey, help me buy a house, right? So just go talk to people you know. Yes, I don't have like a real good answer. I just think there's like better ways to do it.
yeah, I think, look, again, I
Sorry,
come
that
back
was
to
bad
like
answer.
everything works with consistency.
Nice to
So
see you.
I think to Richard's point, I think we tend to avoid the people we know, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why we do that, you know? Like, and I think part of it is maybe because we feel like we have to, you know, force ourselves on them. And that's not what he's saying. Just get into conversation with them, having nothing to do with real estate. The real estate will come naturally. And yes, of course, using those call lists and whatever absolutely can be effective, but like, let's start with the people you know, and then maybe enhance it with different call lists.
I'll give you that. I think the call list is an excuse not to do the hard work
that's
of being in front of people. Everything I find my agents doing is they're going out of their way to not just pick up the phone and make phone calls.
I think it's a great point. Any last questions before we wrap this up?
Do you guys validate parking? Or how's that?
Not for you, no way. You're paying- I'm double charging you, man.
Can I get gas reimbursement?
Yeah. Anyone else?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michael.
Why are you here today?
Josh asked me to come.
That's basically-
your time.
Yeah.
No, I live nearby.
But
No,
and I
no.
appreciate it. He's here because I asked him to come because we,
And Richard
you know,
likes it.
I don't know how to say no. I need to work on saying no. It's my Tim Ferriss practice.
but it's relationships. I mean, you know, we do things for one. I mean, Richard's become, you know, a good friend who I definitely, you know, I don't know about good, but, you know, in my mind. at least.
Clear, Justin.
Right.
Can I make a pitch, Josh?
Sure.
Can I answer your question? First of all, Josh asked me. Second of all, you know, I grew up at Keller Williams. I came here, I did $4 million approximately my first 3 years. And I came here and I did, you know, 51 transactions my second year at KW with no systems or models or anything. I was like, just winging it kind of. But KW's for me is always, this sounds really lame, but there's always been culture of cooperation and learning. So I just feel like that's like an obligation
Giving
I have.
back.
Like I've gotten that, and so blah,
Pay
blah,
it
blah.
forward. Yep.
Anyways, but what I really want is I've got a big sales team. I'm always looking for top shelf talent and mid-level talent too. If you're like okay, not that good, I'll still talk to you. We can
Yeah,
make
we're,
you-
we're still
we can
determined
make you pretty
to
good.
build a Schulman team out of this office, so. for
And
sure.
now that we have
Yeah.
Flex, we literally have unlimited leads because Zillow will give us 20 leads per new agent per month and more. So I have agents getting 30 leads a month from Flex. I have agents who literally can't even like tie their shoes. I started 3 new agents in January and we have 4 pending and closed already, starting in January. So my agents who started in the fall are already making we call a 6-figure track, 8,000 a month net, pathway to 6 figures. So if you're looking for a team opportunity and you want to hang out very little with me, a very little bit, then you can reach out to me.
And I'll help facilitate that for sure. Cam,
How do you see 2022?
I don't know. I just think that you guys who post online that real estate's like the best investment ever, I think you should definitely keep doing that and it will never come back to bite you. Because there's definitely, this will be the first time in the history of the world that an asset class is appreciated infinitely. Is I think my answer to that. Is that the most sarcastic answer I can give? I was in real estate in 2007, obviously, and NAR was talking about soft landing that, soft landing this. Everything was rosy. Actually, 2006 people were panicked, and then 2007 the market up like 17 points, which was the most ever until last year. And then in the middle of 2007, things just went to hell. So I don't know. It's not going to keep going forever. Whether that means it drops 30 points or 5 points, or happens tomorrow or in 2 years, like I'm out of guesses here.
but I will say this,
Really
I
no
think
reason we should be where we are now.
it's a long game. You can't predict the short term, but the long game, it has been, and I think it will always be a great investment. So it just depends on
I think you
your
need to
particular
be,
client's
make sure you're
horizons.
making the right, like at any time in the market. Look, in 2010, when I was selling foreclosures, it was like, just buy everything, it doesn't matter. Because we know this is gonna work. Now it's like, we have to make sure this makes a lot of sense for you.
For that
with all the
particular client,
context.
right? Know what they're looking for and what their
Yeah.
goals are, because that's unique to everyone.
And like, if you have to hit sales numbers for a month or a quarter, you adjust your strategy based on that, right? So you just like, you get more aggressive if you have to hit your first quarter numbers.
Any other last questions?
I thought that was funny.
I did too. You're awesome, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Hey, we have a happy hour over at Cafe Roma. So I think that starts
Thanks
right
for the
now.
invite.
I know. Hey, of course. You're awesome. Thanks. I know.
Thank you. I love those shoes.
You told me, you indicated someone else did.
Oh, yeah. Bring it back in again, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested, but I really would pay real money for it. If he wants to write it. I'm not gonna write a check for it. I want like $20,000 for the whole thing. It's too dicey. I ran the numbers on it, even at doing like 20, 30 million in volume, it's not a lot of fun. So I'm very interested. So you own the assets of
You have been ancestry? Oh, well, I'm
The problem with escrow, I know there is, but the problem is, it's like, it's no different than having right? Hey, good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah. I haven't been doing that too.
We danced a little bit. Yeah. Nevertheless, these it's very entrepreneurial.
Not saying something else for a company or the company, you know, I just feel like even if I can make $200 a year, I can make that just hiring like 2 years, right? Maybe 3 or whatever. Like, you look through all that. If Kate quits tomorrow, I can go call around and find Mark Fishman or something like this and be okay. But if I own the office and Kate quits, I don't need that. We're not for a couple hundred bucks. I already have all that. Same thing, I have that job. I was sort of leveraged to using someone's escrow started to feel like a favor. And it was just like I spent 2 extra hours on site. And I spent 2 extra hours.
What was your prediction? Did I not give up on you?
You should give up.
I don't know if it's in my DNA.
They're much higher value targets.
Listen, I think I'd be your best fit. But if the world should align to change,
I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. But anything wrong with that change, I will certainly call it. So if my world changes, I'll probably only competitor.
I mean, like, let us improve the business and everybody.
Yeah. Too bad you can't get kickbacks. Yeah. Good old days.
Where were you back in the day? Although when I had a fixed Staples Center, I don't like you lasers.
So Shauna took me to, I got like a midweek Timberwolves Lakers game, and I'm like, Shauna, I want to play out. She's like, you have to sell 15 million for next one. She's like, you're here. The next year, I'm like, okay, now I play. I'm like, Samuel, what are you doing here? Like, forward relationship.
I had tickets to the street and I showed tickets to somebody that I was going to see. And that person called my boss. And my boss called me and said, don't ever show tickets. I felt things like giving to office manager my entire suite.
Mark, good to see you. Yeah, 1 second, I just need to talk to
It wasn't, outside. okay. That's not the worst. I think that's what happened.
I go through every day of my life, and I don't
Yeah. That's why I was trying
Sitting there and you have to like do it yourself.
I was good for a couple times. Yeah, I got the first time. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, God. Yeah, he clearly doesn't.
Yeah, we,
That's funny.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't watching. like, we didn't get to like. step 2 for industrial.
They had the extra signature. They had the symbol. Oh, I'm looking for something.
Oh, that's right.
Are you going to hurry up?
I'm sorry, Ally left her phone. At the end of it, after the end of it. Treatment, there's, I got my car off my car. Then we got a lift over.
I was like this before. Yeah, I'll stick around.
She realized it. That's what my car.
Okay, so we'll probably swing by to get there later. Oh, I had such a nightmare last week. This guy came to visit me and he left with my bug, and it's like midnight. And I'm going, what am I gonna do? I have to go back to the show. And I made the most huge discovery the next morning. I actually started getting hurt my day outside my bedroom. And I'm like, oh my God. And he, an hour had passed. And he was hoping somebody might come to my building or whatever. He said, I was just gonna stay till somebody could let me in. I had to Google, like, hey, Google, play this, play jazz. I tested it with my son. I said, hey, the next morning, you know, that night around 1 a.m. That morning, I was still thinking, there's somebody back. And I have no means to do anything. So I said, hey, please call Derek. They called, like I said, hey, call Tom. It will call you. So, nice backup, just FYI, you don't know if you have Alexa or, but for sure, is synced with my contacts and I should, if my phone disappears, or even if I forget, one night I was all the way home. And I got in and I'm like, I freaking left my phone. All the way back, it's like, I hope somebody answers for me.
One side's my phone, one side's my wall. So I have to give myself a little pat.
That's right.
But anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, I just learned, get in my car, always make sure, even, I was like, I'm going home, I don't need to worry. You know, it just goes.
I leave my phone in the car. No, I'm doing this thing because the car's locked.
It's better than both.
But I know, I just got out of the car when I'm picking it up, but it's right.
Even if you say the top of that, it's still a long slog.
So guess what I've done?
Look at this.
Just get here and I go,
What do you like?
oh, I hate this. I was going to get you to do Lucas.
I was talking about that.
I think after I sit down and I do more research, I can like the commissioners. Well, I don't have one. I don't have one yet, but I can want to do this. So anyway, so then my vision is
Yeah. Oh, you'll be called here.
buying real estate and then having a situation and just, you know.
What's the second thing? I do that too. I have people wait to buy real estate. That's a side. I talk about that all the time about how to do that. That's separate.
I don't want to go over 100.
So you could do, you're not gonna do that solo. It's probably not. I would like, I would do $100 bet right now. Go in for 4 minutes. Come on. It might. I've done this for 17 years. First of all, to do 100, you need to do $5 million in sales at full commission. No rebates, no referrals, no whatever. No, like, I'll pay for the broker window type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's already mid-February. Do you have any escrows open?
No.
Do you have any buyers writing offers?
No.
Okay, so it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already talking about like, you'd be lucky to get a paycheck by May, right? How are you gonna find your first client?
Actually, it's not Tom, it's his assistant.
You're asking me great questions, but I just heard this.
Well, I understand that.
Great question.
You know, I left my phone.
The 3 people I'm working with right now, I mean, they're all like, I'm working with like doctors. They're like friends of mine. They're approved. They're like professionals. They make lots of money looking at more or less $3 million homes. One's looking at I mean, of the 6 people looking, 4 are attorneys and one's a doctor.
You're saying on your team?
No, I have 3 clients.
Oh, okay,
Personally.
okay. Yeah.
They're all 3 married couples, 4 attorneys and a doctor. And another person.
Why are you smiling at the person?
It's funny. They're, they're looking at $3 and $4 million homes, and I'm working with all 3 for over a year. So how are you, so we're living. That being said, like I made a post on Facebook 6 weeks ago, I got a check yesterday
Yeah.
on a $5 million sale. 2 hours of work. I found, yeah, right, I got this amazing listing. It's like the most amazing house to buy. It's a super unique house. Once, literally, I mean, I'm not hyperbolic. Literally once in a lifetime opportunity. I put it on Facebook. And I'm like calling, as soon as I got the opportunity, I'm like calling them. I don't know. It's the best, I mean, it's incredible. It's end of
Is
the,
that your neighbor's house?
yeah, end of the cul-de-sac in West Telly. This home don't exist. There's like literally one other home like it, and it's sold last year for $775. So I sold that. That's, okay, that's, so sometimes you get deals like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get deals where it's like, okay, this woman emailed me today, I want to sell my house. Okay, cool. Well, I've known her for 20 years. I sold her house 5 years ago. She's having a C-section Friday. We're gonna talk in a couple weeks. Then we'll put the house up for sale. I mean, okay, so I can get paid by her in like 3 months.
Yeah.
That's the problem this year.
Yeah, yeah.
With Zillow, we're doing so much inbound business that I have guys like Michael, who's new, who's not, let's say, not having an MBA, right? He's closed, but he only has a second one closing for 5, 6 weeks. Certain days. Yeah, so he's already made $15,000 this year. But
I can see the.
I have 30 leads a month coming to him through Zillow.
Yeah.
So I can move that along more quickly. My top end agents, my top 2 agents will make like 4 figures. They're 4, 5, 6 years of business. They have a base we built together. They have skill. I can send them, I got someone called in to myself $3 million house, and I don't even do it.
Yeah.
Can't give you or Michael that.
How many agents do you have?
17 maybe.
Oh, okay. And are they all in the office?
Is this the famous on the patio? I'll give you a call.
Okay, you have my number.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job.
How many solo agents, knowing that she's exceptional, right, self-declared, right? How many solo, honestly, how many solo agents are here in 12 months? Brand new agent, right? How many brand new agents are you gonna hire this year? Or did you hire last year? Yeah. Yeah, 10. Okay, so 100, how many will be here in 12 months? How many of those last 12 months? How many?
What are the metrics?
I would doubt. Maybe if you had. Well, yeah. Maybe you have a bunch of November, December. Right. I would doubt that if you're 6 new hires. No. And I would doubt 10 or actually. So you just make your first appointment.
I don't know your number though. You have-
Well, yeah, I'm in control. See, if I just leave them. See, I'm gonna take off, Doc.
God, thanks,
See you.
Appreciate you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Richard, think about what I said. I'm serious.
I will definitely will.
Yeah, because I was asking him how big the team is. He said about 17 agents.
Yeah.
And he was asking me if I would be interested in possibly joining the team.
Right,
And just what my perspective is on that. And I just told him, I was like, yeah, it's been something that I've been considering, whether it be solo or part of the team.
Yeah.
So.
And he is like, I'll be frank with you, their team's very considerably. He's a guy that is extremely, like, he's one I have a high degree of respect for. And
Yeah.
he is like a good friend. And so, but with that said, he's
Mhm.
not that hands-on. And so there's where, like,
Okay.
how does that, how is that gonna translate? for
Right.
you?
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
something I'd want to dig into too.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really made up my mind on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And he asked me, he's like, well, what's your only hesitation? I said, which I guess just sharing the commission, you know,
Yeah.
because you get less.
Yeah.
But I guess
'Cause
to a point, they are handing you the listing,
Right.
so it's a little bit.
I mean, he does the bill of flexing, that's one big assumption. So that all actually.
Yeah.
And there is an accountability that I have with him, he's not gonna oversell the relationship I have with him. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So there's some value in that, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
If you want, we're doing that, so, then, yeah.
Is it okay if I park downstairs, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
after, just after 2 hours, you probably have to pay, but you
Okay.
can also, you can move your car, people, they don't care.
Yeah.
If you move your car, so
Yeah, yeah,
anyway, yeah, but yeah, in terms of keeping it, you just, after 2 hours, you just gotta pay,
Yeah.
So
Are you walking over there?
I am in a minute after I figure out where I am, what's going on. So
Okay.
I'll be over there.
Okay, I'll see you over there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Thanks, guys.